So, I saw the Odyssey on opening night, and as I was watching it, uh, I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler because it's like, it's like going to see the Passion of the Christ and being like, oh, at the end he gets crucified.
Whoa.
Hey,
I haven't seen that yet.
Sorry, man. That's not even at the end. That's like in the middle.
Well, still,
he gets resurrected at the end.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Sorry, dude. Anyways, Odysseus's men get turned into pigs, as you well know.
Oh.
You've read the Odyssey before, right?
Yeah.
So you know how they get turned into pigs?
I don't mean to brag or anything.
Yeah. I've
read a book or two.
I've read the Odyssey, okay? It's not better than the book. But you know how his men get turned into pigs?
Sure.
So like the funniest part in the movie is just like after they get turned back into men, they're kind of like looking at they're not looking at each other in the eye. It's almost like they took a bunch of like poppers or something and then just all had like gay sex together. Yeah. And then after it all wore off, they're just kind of like, oh, let's just never talk about that again. Like that's how they kind of frame getting turned into pigs, is just like being turned gay for however many hours. So that's my favorite part of the Odyssey. That's my review of the Odyssey too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment. But I'm sure it's terrific.
I think it's not bad, to be honest. Like I think that I went in with a good amount of cynicism, but then like I found myself getting caught up like in the struggles of the characters and stuff. Like there were some parts where I was like, hell yeah, like I was behind Odysseus and his stuff. So I got a little riled up, and I think that's probably the best you can hope for something like that.
Yeah,
getting riled up. But then also at the same time, as I was watching it, I was kind of like, I wish I was watching Beowulf. Like I wish this was more like Beowulf.
Mm-hmm.
That's
what's in Beowulf that's not in the Odyssey.
Well, both of them,
besides enormous CGI cleavage,
right? Well, I mean, there could have been a little bit more of that in the Odyssey, to be honest. I mean, whatever. I won't go down that road. But as you well know, famous transgender actor Elliot Page is featured.
Do you see her penis?
Yeah, you get to see her piece.
Odyssey Deez nuts.
Very good. Very good.
These trans nuts.
Both films, the Odyssey and Beowulf.
These nuts.
Beowulf down these nuts. Beowulf down this nut.
It just never ends.
Yeah.
Endless fun.
Yep. Yes. What was I? Oh yes. So the Odyssey and
trans nuts
and Beowulf both have sort of, they both take like an old poem or whatever, and then they kind of change it into they kind of add their own little,
spice it up.
No, what do you call it? Like they add like a message to it, like a cautionary tale, or like sort of some kind of like reflection on I don't know, the human condition to some degree. Like Beowulf is sort of like about letting your dick kind of make the decisions for you. It's a very like sexual kind of movie. It's about,
and it's also who's the real monster here.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot. Is it the ugly monsters that are in the shape of monsters and do monster things, or is it Beowulf's monster cock? Or those monster CGI jugs swaying above the picnic tables.
Yeah, in the mead hall. Those
mead bags.
Those couple of mead skins, mead sacks, a couple canteens. You know what I'm saying?
Couple steins.
Got big cylindrical tits. And then so then the
that's like one of the funny things about Beowulf. Is
hold on.
Like, there are those like sexy moments, but it's like it's just like a little tease. Like they don't fully show you anything.
Yeah,
but they want to be kind of sexy, kind of adult, but not too adult.
well,
they don't alienate the kids.
I mean, I don't know. Like they're not. They're not. I mean, that was made in 2007. I mean, alienating the kids, I don't think really factored in. It's not.
Well,
like,
I mean, as far as like putting out a big expensive movie in the theaters and keeping it PG-13, so it's kids.
What was Beowulf rated? The 2007 movie.
It's gonna be PG-13.
Yeah, it was PG-13. Okay, so yeah, you mean alienate in a strict sense? Like I thought you meant more of in a.
No, not like kids are gonna see it and be like, "Oh, tits! Oh, that's painful." No, I just mean like keeping the kids out of the theaters because they're not allowed to go see it.
I mean, I meant in like a Gen Z way, how they don't like. Remember when we talked about like baby girl and shit? And it's like turns out that Gen Z doesn't like having sex. Right. It's before Gen Z kind of. It was when Gen Z was still in its
infancy.
Infant Z. When it was still in someone's nutsack. They were all still
nuts.
simple glimmers in their father's eyes. So Beowulf has these kinds of what do you call it? Subtext, I guess. And then the Odyssey is like it's sort of talking about like an age of there's a theme in the whole thing about like you should be kind to strangers because a stranger could actually be a god in disguise that's testing you. So it's kind of like a reinforcement of like the golden rule where it's like, yeah, just you should try to be nice and generous to strangers and be a good host because you never know, it might be Zeus,
Yeah,
but
I disagree with that.
Yeah, well, so does everyone else in the movie, and then it kind of and they sort of
bites him in the ass.
Well, it sort of to
be kind to these trans strangers.
To Odysseus, I think that it like he's witnessing sort of the end of an age, like an end of like or rather the beginning of an age of like treachery and like underhandedness and stuff, and that's kind of what that's about. Like that's kind of I think what the movie to some degree is about. Like
so it's the beginning of an age of treachery or the end of an age of treachery?
The beginning of one. Yeah. Because it's like they, the Trojan horse, like he feels guilt.
That sparks it off.
Yeah, he feels guilt about it. Like, he took advantage of he knew that they would honor it because they'd be like, oh yeah, like, it's a gift in praise of the gods, but they never would have dreamed that someone would be so underhanded as to use that sort of offering as like a way to
but it's funny that's how they make him feel guilty about it, because like that's all he does through the whole movie is that's how he survives basically, because he's a trickster. He's a sneak. Like he tricks the Cyclops. He's always like using his mind to outsmart his enemies.
Well, as you well know, Odysseus doesn't get back to see his family and his wife until like for like 20 years. So he's kind of an old guy when he gets back home.
Right.
And I think that it's what Christopher Nolan did was he kind of maybe was like, okay, like maybe we'll make this about like an old man kind of reflecting on his life and kind of just being like how much of the shit that I did am I actually proud of, I think it's actually good. I know you're trying to force it into your kind of like, it's probably fucking woke. Ellen Page is in this movie and it's about trauma and blah, 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 all this stuff. But I think that it's actually a well-handled movie that could be dealt with in a clumsy way. But I feel like it's fairly deft in terms of how, like in terms of the subtext that Christopher Nolan has like added to it. Like he has to make it about something. It can't just be kind of like, all right, these guys go over here and then these guys go over there and they do this and they do that. It actually does feel a lot like that. Like the Odyssey is fairly just like episodic. Like, they go over and they encounter a cyclops, and then they go over and they get turned into pigs, and then they go over and they do something else, and it's all fairly disconnected. So you have to kind of like tie it together with something in order to make it like a modern film that people are actually going to, watch and take something away from, that's more than just, oh wow, those adventures sure were cool, like you have to kind of like add something, add some sort of thematic element to it. So I think it's successful. But, you wait and see. Next time you're on a plane, you can watch The Way Christopher Nolan Intended.
We'll see.
On the back of a fucking someone's headrest, you can watch it in there.
Yeah, so I'll probably see it in about 10 years.
Yeah.
Right before I drop dead.
Right. Yeah, you'll be like Odysseus reflecting on your life.
On my trickery.
On
my life of trickery.
Yeah, on a United flight to Plymouth, Massachusetts, and
to Syria.
to Syria. Fuck. Yeah, maybe in 10 years you might be able to go. Syria might be a nice place to visit.
I can't wait.
I mean, it used to be nice.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I had a friend who went to Syria like in the 90s, I think, and he said it was sick. Like
he got sick.
No, he said it was cool. Like the marketplace and stuff in Damascus was very was popping, and everyone was chill, and the food was great. But now it's just like,
did he buy like some toddlers?
Americans are hilarious, man. I'm
just making a joke. I'm not like fucking stating a fucking actual belief.
Really? Do you think that
I have no idea I have no knowledge of Syria in any way.
Would you be hesitant about going to Thailand because you'd think that everyone would think you were a child molester? Why are you going to Thailand for, Johnny? What are you going to go? What are you going to go there for? What, the fucking beach? Is that what you're going there for?
If it wouldn't. Okay, so it wouldn't be in my like top 10 places to go, but let's say there was they're having Comic-Con Thailand, and they invited me as a special guest. I'd totally go.
Why would you go?
Because I'm being invited to a comic convention as a special guest, and they're gonna put me up in a hotel and feed me. Fuck yeah, I'd go.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
And if somebody wants to think that I'm like going there for sex tourism, I don't care.
Yeah, they're gonna feed you something, man. They're gonna feed you some fucking 12-year-olds. Yeah.
You have ladyboy salad.
You should have made a little pit stop while they went, because they flew you over to Japan for that thing, for that thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
they paid for some of it.
It would have been in your best interest to make a little pit stop somewhere else, to check out some tropical Asia, because it's definitely worth seeing. I personally think that everyone should visit Thailand. I think it's that cool. But
yeah, because of the sex,
because of the hot child sex industry. It's actually bizarre. Like I remember going out just going to eat in Bangkok, and I was with Phoebe, and we were walking around like downtown, and there's like
child sex cock block.
There's literally is that what we call Phoebe, the child sex cock block?
You're there to get some fucking child sex. Phoebe's sitting there giving the eyeball. She's like, I know what you're here for.
She's got her arms crossed, making like Marge Simpson noises.
Yeah, tapping her foot.
Yeah.
Every time you like rubberneck a kid, you're like, whoa, look at that one, and she's like, Robert.
A kid on a tricycle. I was gonna say, like, I saw like you walk down a street and you'll see like, literally like 30 girls, like, that are very obviously hookers. I mean, they're not children, they're adult women. Men. Yeah, or at least appear to be women.
They appear to be adult women.
They appear to be adult women. And they're all just sitting like on a bench, and they're all just fucking around on their phones. And then like, quite literally, like maybe like 15 feet away, there's a guy with a food stand, and a lot of people will, like in night markets and things like that, will like bring their kids to work. Like, so their kid, like they'll make food and then they'll be like, hey, go bring that food to this guy. So like the kid will come and bring you the food on a tray or whatever. Right. And he's got 2 daughters, and he's this guy, like, what the fuck's going through this guy's head? Like he's cooking food and he's looking over and there's like 30, girls that are like,
his daughter's future.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just he's just taking, like, how do you make peace with that in your mind? Like, and it's just these tourists coming through that are the lifeblood of the economy there that are, right. You have to, oh man, like the I don't know what that word is, like, the acclamation to that fact. I don't know how the fuck they do it. That it goes a long way to explain, Asian chill. That, right. Asian chill is what holds a lot of stuff together. It's just genetic chillness. How do you guys do it? Big shout out to my Asian brothers and sisters out there for being so chill.
Thanks for being cool, for letting your kids shuttle snacks to the hookers.
Yeah, no, they weren't giving it to the hookers. They were giving it to his customers.
Customers to the Johns, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're hungry after all that fucking.
Yeah,
to fucking get their vitamins back.
I want to just like give a shout out to those kids out there in Thailand feeding the Johns. It's a very important job.
Okay, let's get off this topic. I'm starting to get into some dangerous territory.
There's a bit of a trigger warning at the top of this show. Lots of discussion of child sex and prostitution. Indeed,
our film of the day is Beowulf. Was it 2007? Robert Zemeckis, fully animated film. I think like fairly like poorly received or maybe mixed reviews at the time. A lot of people really didn't like the animation, or maybe people today look back on it and didn't like the anime. I think I
remember it being, because it was also 3D.
Yeah.
And, that was kind of a little bit of a selling point at the time. I remember when I saw it in 3D. I remember it being it felt like it was somewhat successful.
Yeah.
Like it didn't just kind of like come and go real fast. I remember going to see it in the theater.
Right. Yeah, sorry, I'm just replying to an email. But you said it was in 3D and it did okay.
I think so. I think it must have done all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, let's just check it out, actually. Do I have the page open?
And it was written by Roger Avery and Neil Gaiman.
Right. Yeah, Neil Gaiman. That's probably why, like, I think it's a little bit better written than, like, it kind of needed to be.
I've never read a Neil Gaiman comic in my life.
Really? I remember being really into Season of Mists, the Sandman comic, when I was a teenager.
Yeah, I remember when he was big, and he was like part of that British wave,
right,
of intelligent comics, but I didn't read a single one of them.
Yeah, well, probably they're not so good anymore. A lot of that stuff, really. I was just talking with my friend today. He sent me an article about how what do you call it? Motherfucking there's a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I hope the new one's dark, and I'm like, well, they kind of tried to go dark when they did that remake, and it didn't really go very well for them. But then, like, to try to like recapture kind of like what made them special, like what a teenager was in 1987 is a lot different than what a teenager is today.
Right.
And like, so it's like you're to kind of reach back into the past and try to like capture kind of what made something special back then and bring it to today, it kind of is impossible. So the only way you're going to be able to like do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and you're not trying to go after the old fans. Like if you're making a movie, you have to go after the younger audience.
Right.
So, I mean, they're probably going to make it.
You're saying like making it a period piece.
Yeah.
Like Stranger Things.
No. Well, I mean, I guess that is kind of what I mean. Like to have it take place in the 80s and do something like that. I think it would be silly to do that. I saw that happen with the It TV show, the HBO Welcome to Derry, Stephen King's It TV show. Like it's just they just tried to do Stranger Things, and it's like, so Stranger Things did it and they got away with it, and it kind of, what do you call it? It kind of fucked up towards the end. Like it felt. I mean, I don't know. I didn't really watch Stranger Things beyond like I think season 2, but then
I saw season 1, and that was enough for me. It was too cute.
Right. Well, then imagine like just the sort of the half-hearted version of that, and you can imagine what the HBO Stephen King's It TV show is like.
Well, I didn't even like that. I mean, the fucking remake of the movie was like, I just saw the first one of that. It was fucking dumb.
Yeah, they suck. They really do suck.
And I remember when the first one was on. Like I was around when the first one was on TV, and that was retarded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the new one was worse than that one. Like I thought that first one was like, oh man, this can't get worse than this. Boy, was I wrong.
I like. I was 9 when that came out, and so I mean it scared me when it was on TV, right? Because I was 9, and but I look back on it, and I do think that Tim Curry did a good job as playing the clown. I think that's a good performance. I think that him kind of like, how you doing, Georgie? Like doing that kind of New York sort of hobo accent was really good. Like it's because it kind of gives this sort of like unsavory sort of pedophile kind of flavor to the character. Like
hello
he's just,
there, children.
Hey, hold on.
This is my scary voice.
That's not the voice I was.
I'm a pedophile.
Well, I'm a pedophile, you see. A gentleman needs to know the difference between velvet and velveteen.
Yeah, that would have been better if you had like a foghorn leghorn kind of a.
No, he did
Uncle Tom.
he did like a New York, like an old New York.
Hey there, kids.
Yes, that's the one right
me,
there.
Your old buddy, the clown.
Hey there, kids. I'm a pedophile.
Guess what I am? I'm a starts with a P.
I ride the rails. Yeah, but the rest of the film, the rest of that television series was pretty awful, and what I've tried to watch it again, and I had to turn it off. They do this thing where I think they do it twice actually, in part 1 and part 2, because they split it into 2 parts, where they do a montage and they play that song that's like.
Is this the movie or the TV show?
The TV series, the 1991
TV series, right?
Or the miniseries, the one with Tim Curry.
Okay,
yeah,
the Tim Curry one.
What's that song that's like? I guess it must be called "It's All Right." It's like that song that's like, "It's all right, have a good time, 'cause it's all right." You know that song?
Sure. Yeah.
Like they do a montage twice with that song of the kids having a carefree time, and then later on they do the same thing with the adults kind of rediscovering their childhood, and it's just like this is
chill moment.
Yeah, exactly that, and it's insufferable. I can't even watch it. I have to turn it off because I feel embarrassed.
I think that's like Stephen King in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah, Stephen King. Yeah, right. Stephen King playing guitar in his AC/DC cover band. Fucking Stephen King and the meteor shower or whatever the fuck they're called.
Or like doing when he does those like at the top of chapters, he'll like quote some band, some lyrics from some rock song.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like,
hey ho, let's go.
Hey. And it's just like, what the fuck? Why? What the fuck is that for?
Because he's a rocker, dude.
Oh, okay. So you know the Ramones. So good for you. Like,
yeah.
Fuck off. You nerd.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He's one of us. I'm
just a regular dude, just dad rock, listening to dad rock and
yeah.
chilling.
Chapter 1. Chapter 1. I am a walrus. Cuckoo cachoo.
Exactly. That's what he fucking does. People like that shit.
This is pretty funny. This is fertile ground. Like just bragging on Stephen King. That's what the podcast should be more of. There's a podcast called like I think it might just be called like the Stephen King podcast or some shit.
Yeah.
And all they do is talk about Stephen King and how much they love Stephen King.
Yeah.
There should be a podcast about just a couple of guys that just
that's it, right? That's what we're doing right now.
Talk mad shit about Stephen King. Like for like 400 episodes.
Yeah, we can go through every fucking thing he's ever done and point out why it sucks.
All right, so we were talking about Neil Gaiman. We got crazy sidetracked, and it was my fault. I apologize to our listener. So yeah, Neil Gaiman and was it Roger Avery?
Right.
Wrote the screenplay.
But both got into legal trouble.
For what? For how? Why come?
Why come? Avery hit somebody with his car. I think he might have killed him. He did prison time.
And, so not. I thought you meant for Beowulf.
Well, maybe Beowulf had something to do with it. And then Neil Gaiman recently got in trouble because he raped a maid or something.
Yeah, those both do fucking Roger Avery
accidentally raped his maid.
Roger Avery was fucking got drunk off mead and was on his way. Was driving away from raping his maid. Right. And then Neil Gaiman just got the maid fucking had a big mouth, fucking blew the whistle on him.
He was going to bail out Neil Gaiman.
So the fucking movie starts, and Anthony Hopkins is like this, this big fat CG guy, Hrothgar, I believe is his name, and he's got this mead hall, and it's just him and his fucking. I guess they're like Danes, and they're partying. I like that. Like he sort of has this proclamation in the beginning, and he's like, so this is my mead hall, and forever it will be a place of joy and merriment and fornication and getting drunk and partying and fucking a lot. And they're just hedonists, like they're just wild.
Yeah, everyone's a hedonist except his shit wife.
And John Malkovich.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
stiff John Malkovich.
Yeah, his name is.
But at least he's not married to John Malkovich. He's
yeah,
married to that fucking bitch.
Robin Wright, I believe, plays.
Robin Wright Penn.
Right. Oh shit, Robin Wright Penn.
Yeah, she was married to Sean Penn for a while.
Yeah.
But man, she's a fucking killjoy. Not only is she a killjoy being married to Anthony Hopkins, but then she marries Beowulf, and then she's fucking a real drip.
Yeah.
Just like as soon as like Beowulf marries her, he's like looking for some other little chippy to fuck because she's the worst wife in the world.
Right.
She's the real monster.
True. Well, I mean, she does factor into it. I mean, so I want to talk about John Malkovich. John Malkovich plays Unferth, I think his name is, and he's enough, he's like this guy who used to he used to be like more of a warrior, but now he's sort of like just this stiff kind of advisor who has seemed to found Christ. He's kind of like, there is a new God for I guess the Romans would have brought it to them or something. Right. The new Roman God, Christ Jesus. Perhaps we should pray to him, And Anthony Hopkins, before he's kind of talking about what this guy used to be like before, and he's like, this fucking guy was crazy. He used to get so drunk, and he used to fuck so many girls, and he was the bravest brawler of brawlers. And then you look at him now, and he looks kind of like a monk from Robin Hood.
He looks like John Malkovich.
He looks like John Malkovich if he was in.
That's
he was
the other
playing
weird
Friar
thing
Tuck.
about the animation is that like all the characters have the actors' faces pasted onto them. So
I think,
except for Ray Winstone,
right, who plays Beowulf,
everybody else you could tell like, okay, that's it. That's John Malkovich. That's Angelina Jolie. That's Robin Wright Penn, and that's Anthony Hopkins. And yeah, it's a little strange.
I mean, let's just go ahead and say that like the biggest problem with this movie, in my estimation, is that it is in this sort of bizarre animation style.
Right.
Like if this were just a live action movie and it were done identically to the way that it's presented on the screen, I think that I would like it a lot more. And I think I do
too.
And I think a lot of people would like it a lot more. But at the same time, it's like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta. I don't think that this movie could have been made at the time. I don't think that people would have taken the risk if it hadn't been this sort of.
Because I mean, well, I
this
think
this novel animation technique that they decided to do. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I feel like when this was presented to the world, it was sort of like, look at this amazing, like we're this is the new frontier of animation. Like, this is a real breakthrough movie. You know, this is 2007. I think it was presented as like, this is amazing. Look what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But it hasn't aged well.
You know, I like the animation. People like, I think it's, you know, you watch it and you're just kind of like, this is like, and just the fact that it's animated and everything had to be, you know, like hand sculpted, and like every shot, everything is like a meticulous decision. It's not like things like, that's the thing about animation, is there's nothing that happens by accident. Right. That's the difference between like film and animation, is that
the big problem with the animation is it's very stiff. And I know, or at least the acting is very stiff, and it seems very limited when people are getting like really emotional. It's not conveying as well. Like, I'm just sort of thinking like, if this was an actual person, this moment would work a lot better. Now, the thing that works in the animation is like the way that the camera is just like constantly like flying like all over the place, through the woods, through windows, up and around the dragon's ass, through its mouth, down the street. Like it's that work is pretty impressive. But when it just comes to those quieter moments of just like actors talking to each other, that's where I feel like it fails.
I disagree slightly. Like, I think that when things get like heavy-handed and emotional, that's when it fails. But during the sort of the more casual interpersonal moments, I think that I find it really amusing and fun. Like how Anthony Hopkins is like, Beowulf, where is he? Oh, there he is. Like it's all done with motion capture, and like the way that he's acting is very what's the word? Like very, I guess for lack of a better word, it's like very natural. Like he's kind of like looking around. He's like, oh, there he is, and he kind of has this like these little sort of human moments, and to see it like in this 3D character is pretty funny. The best part, my favorite one of those moments, is this part where it's when Beowulf is old and he's sitting in fucking Unferth. John Malkovich is there, and he's like, I killed because John Malkovich's character gives him his family sword earlier on, called I think it's called Hrunting, and he's like, yeah, I killed. Remember when I killed Grendel's mother? And he leans over and he goes, with the sword Hrunting, and then John Malkovich is holding like a knife because he's cutting some bread, and he holds up the knife. He's like, that's right, you know. It's that part makes me fucking laugh every single time I see it, because it's just such a it wouldn't make me laugh if it was actors doing it, but because it's animation and they kind of left that in this little sort of human moment. I just find it very. I think it's like.
But what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at. It's hard.
Amuse you?
It's hard for me to fucking explain, man. It's like.
You're laughing because it's retarded.
No, I know why I'm laughing. There is a good reason for me to be laughing at it. It's like he's telling the story about how he killed the fucking Grendel's mother, and then like he decides to give John Malkovich props. So he kind of leans over and he's like, "With your sword," and then John Malkovich is holding like the knife. And he's like, "That's right." Like he puts his hand up and he's like, "Yep, that's right." And I mean, I don't know how to explain it any better than that, man. Like, I mean, maybe this isn't coming through. Fuck, people are gonna get angry at me for this part of the podcast. Well, let's move on. But like, I guess
sound off in the comments.
The point that I'm trying to make is that these little sort of like like kind of off the cuff kind of actor-ish moments that are just caught with the motion capture I don't know, technology, whatever fucking suits with ping pong balls they were wearing. A lot of the little off the cuff stuff that's happening just during just during conversation, I think are pretty funny. And it is funny to see these like animated sort of uncanny characters do stuff like that. You see it also like in that Final Fantasy movie. Remember that a movie that I think is much less successful than this, though, the Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Do you remember that one?
I've never seen a Final Fantasy movie. Isn't there like 19 of them?
No, there's lots of Final Fantasy video games, and there were 2.
Or what about like the Polar Express?
I never saw that.
Me neither, but it seems similar in like animation style.
I think that one was. I think that was for kids, and I don't really count the ones that are for kids. I'm counting the ones that are meant to be for like, adults and like older teens. Yeah, like. So Final Fantasy was like sort of a hard science fiction one. It's not like there were like tits in it and the violence wasn't very graphic, but the story is a little more sophisticated and like little kids wouldn't like it. Whereas the Polar Express, I think, is made for little kids. That's my perception. Anyways. So that's how I feel about the animation style. I think that like there are some parts in it that are funny and good and feel very human, but then when it starts to get like actually really emotional, that's kind of where it falls apart for me. Like when they try to reach like these sort of actual effective emotional moments, it's like it feels stupid and silly.
Well, even stuff like I was mentioning before, like when the woman is like scrubbing the picnic table when she's got her tits swinging, and then like there's the one dude that's just like ogling the tits, and I'm kind of like, well, who is this for? Like, is this supposed to turn me on, or is it supposed to turn like a kid, like a teenager on? And there's like other like kind of sexy,
Angelina Jolie,
but there's other things, like there's a scene with like in the beginning with like all the kind of like carousing and like there's like a woman that falls down and like there's lots of like that Austin Powers type of camera shots where like every time somebody's nude, there's something in front of it, like perfectly placed.
Yeah.
And so like in the carousing scene at the beginning, like a woman falls on the floor, and then like there's like an overturned table that's like blocking her lower part, but then you see her skirt like flip up, so a guy just is like descending face first into her pussy region.
Oh, very, very well put.
And there's like lots of stuff like that, but it just seems kind of like I'm just wondering like what this is. Like, I don't know. There's it always just seems weird to me. It's sort of like either go for it or don't.
It's very obviously played for a laugh though. Like the guy ogling those tits, you know, and like it goes to him, or she's scrubbing the table and her tits are moving, and then it goes back to the guy and he's kind of like, whoa. And then the part where the girl's getting like being chased around the table, she falls down and her skirt goes up. Like it's like if you're watching that in a movie theater, people are laughing at that. Like it's not very difficult to decipher.
I mean, but there's something intended to be sexy about it too. Like I think they feel like those it doesn't just come off as jokey.
Yeah,
like it comes off as like
it's
these are some nice tits.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's ribaldry. You know, it's like it's fun, lewd humor. Like it's.
But I just feel like if you're going to do that type of humor, it only. I don't know. Maybe that's just my own personal feeling about it. Like I feel like you need to go there, otherwise don't bother. Like what's the point?
No, I mean, I think it's. I don't know about that. I mean, it's like Benny Hill.
I mean, but Benny Hill is live action. It seems weird in a cartoon to do it. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's not.
Like
it's not weird at all.
It's strange in a cartoon.
There's
like this type of stuff. Like it's just
there's a long history, a long and rich history of sexy
PG
hot
sex
of sexy hot babes in animation, but without just making it, you know, like graphic, you know, like
I feel like
Jessica Rabbit, you know,
there's still plenty of real estate between what we saw in Beowulf and like, you know, hardcore pornography, and I feel like it just seems sort of unnecessary in this movie. Like it really, the tone of the movie just kind of, like when it happens, it sort of stands out in a strange way.
Yeah. Well,
like I'm not watching, you know, I don't feel like I'm watching some anime with like, oh, I'm watching, I'm trying to think of, like I'm watching a Dirty Pair anime,
mm-hmm.
or Go Nagai, Cutie Honey,
Violence Jack.
Like the whole basis of those animes is you're watching hot anime girls in tight outfits flying around. That's the point. Here, that's not the point. It's just kind of like little side filler, you know, amusements while you're watching the movie that have really nothing to do with the movie or anything else.
I absolutely disagree. To say that it has nothing to do with the movie, like the character Beowulf, like that, and just sort of the general through line through the movie is like just this lusty dude who just wants to fight and fuck and drink, and that's kind of what Anthony Hopkins is, whatever you call that, like his kingdom, his court.
You know, I mean, Beowulf himself is not a you know, I know he has sex with Angelina Jolie, but even that moment for me felt a little off, because he doesn't come off as some kind of like pervert that's ogling the chicks all the time. Like some of his men are, but he kind of like puts himself, he's sort of above that.
Yeah.
And he seems to be much more noble, much less brutish, and he doesn't seem to be a character that's sort of driven by his dick up until the moment where he is. But his men are, and you know, like those scenes of like, oh, this shot of cartoon CGI tits, if you took it out, like, what difference would it make?
I like the film more with that stuff in, because I think it's funny, and I also think that it is entirely within the parameters of the tone that's being set. You know, that's the way I feel about it.
But it's just like there's something about this animation and sex that isn't working. These characters aren't sexy. The women aren't. It's just not sexy.
Yeah. Well, that's a symptom of just this experiment in doing a film like this in animation. It's a big swing, and it's like, let's try to do it. This is how the film would be if we were doing it live action. Let's just try doing it with, like, let's try to do as realistic human characters as we possibly can. Like, I mean, the film is intended to be, it's screaming to be a live action film. That, like,
well, that's like if that scene that I'm talking about was live action, I would be like, oh, there was this great scene where, the lady's, tits are hanging out of her dress and the guy, like, that would be great. This, because it's in this oddly animated movie, the effect that they're trying to achieve it just seems strange. It's not effective.
Well, I don't know, man. I said already, like, right from the beginning, the biggest disadvantage of the film, or rather the biggest, like, weakness of it is that it is in this animation style. But I take that as a given, like, after a little while, Phoebe fucking hates animation. She cannot stand it. It's very difficult to, like, watch an animated film. I can't get her to watch even, like, the very best ones, because she's just not interested.
I'm more on her team.
Yeah, I feel you. You didn't like Perfect Blue, which is just bizarre. It's like you not even like willing to
I'm like,
try to like it.
I like Woody Woodpecker and Elmer Fudd. I don't care about Beavis and Butthead. I don't know. It doesn't. When my daughter's watching an animated movie, I got to leave the room. I can't take it.
Well, okay, there you go. That's a pretty clear indicator of, like, who we're dealing with here. But the point I'm just trying to make is that I was sitting there beside her watching this movie, and and after after the first fight with Grendel, which we haven't even got into, by the way. We've already been talking for like fucking like 50 minutes almost. I haven't even talked about the movie. But then she started to get into it, because I think after a little while you start to just sort of forget about the animation. You start just to kind of, like, okay, like you acclimate yourself to the animation style, and you're kind of just like, okay, I'm just watching this like a regular movie. And
I don't think I ever got there.
I definitely did. Like, after probably around like 30 minutes, I'm just kind of viewing it as a.
I do have to say that the Grendel design is really good.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
That's probably my favorite thing about the movie, is that I like how that creature is designed.
Yeah,
it sort of gets weird when they get up real close, and then you can kind of, it feels like you're looking at like a college student's animation,
reel,
graduate reel,
right?
But when he's just kind of moving around and he's lit in a certain way,
yeah,
it's really great. Like, I
so,
don't think I've seen a sort of like that type of a character design in any kind of horror movie.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So, Hrothgar and his court are all wiling out, and they're drinking mead, and they're singing a song. Whatever, like how fucking these types of Northern Europeans do, like singing songs of, like, past conquests and stuff. And then the camera kind of, like, swoops around, cranes around, and goes up into the rafters, and then you see a rat running along the rafter. The rat leaves the interior of the the mead hall, and it gets picked up by a fucking bird, like an eagle or something, and then it starts flying. And this whole time you're hearing, like, the music in the hall kind of, like, fading outwards as the hawk is kind of flying out into the wilderness, into the hinterlands, like the dark, like, untamed wildness of outside of civilization. And then, like, and the whole while the music is, like, getting quieter and quieter and quieter. And then we continue, the camera continues into sort of a cave, and then all of a sudden we see this weird sort of organic surface with this sort of wobbly kind of jelly thing, and we start to hear the music again. And what we come to learn is that like partying, singing, merrymaking, just being happy drives this
he's like the Grinch.
He's like the Grinch. He's exactly like the Grinch. He's he does not like merrymaking at all.
He hates Christmas.
It fucking makes him
insane. He's going to put a stop to it.
So he goes over there, treks across the winter field or whatever, open plain, and he kicks open the door, and then Grendel just starts killing everybody. And he's big. He's like a giant. He's maybe like five dudes tall, and he's strong, and he's invulnerable too. Like you see him getting stabbed with a sword, and it's almost just like stabbing like a tree or something. Like you can't really penetrate. And pus. He's repulsive. He doesn't really bleed blood. He bleeds like pus. Like he's just this big, gross, awful monster. Like I really like the design of Grendel too. Like not just the look of him, but also sort of what they kind of imply about his physiology. Like he's just this disgusting, repulsive troll. I think he gets called a troll by Beowulf at one point too.
Right, played by Crispin Glover.
Yeah, he's like a mutant, and it actually makes perfect sense that the child of a god. I take Angelina to be sort of like a demigod, like some kind of I don't know, what do you call that? Like a fucking some kind of like demigod, not like a true god.
More god.
Yeah, like a demi-more god. And then and then Anthony Hopkins is a guy, and they have sex. It's implied that they have sex earlier, and then the offspring is going to be sort of unnatural. So like the unnaturalness is sort of evident in the design of Grendel,
mm-hmm.
which I think is great. Yeah. So then he kills everybody, and then Anthony Hopkins puts the word out. He says, "We're closing the mead hall. We need a hero to come and help us kill this monster." And also when Grendel shows up, there's like the hearth in the mead hall, the flames turn blue, like a magical blue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that happens, but it does. I don't feel any certain way about it, but I thought I'd mention it. So yeah, then Beowulf shows up, and then immediately Unferth, John Malkovich, is like, "Oh, I heard you fucking lost a race against some guy," and Beowulf's like, "Oh yeah, let me tell you the story." And then he goes and tells a story about how like he's had like a 5-day long swimming race with this other guy, and then he had to fight sea monsters, and he killed sea monsters. And basically, what John Malkovich is accusing him of is being an exaggerator, a storyteller, a bullshitter. Mm-hmm. And Beowulf's like, "You're a fucking bitch, and you need to fucking shut the fuck up, because I've done shit that you couldn't even imagine.
You caught your brother fucking your mother," or something like that.
Mm-hmm. He clowns him pretty good. So then Beowulf decides that he's gonna fight Grendel, and he's like, "Open the mead hall. Let's fucking, if the monster doesn't like merrymaking, then let's fucking get merry. Let's be merry."
So everyone make merry, and he takes all his clothes off and waits for Grendel.
And that brings me to the part where he takes off his clothes, and the Hrothgar's wife sees his penis. We don't see his penis, and she kind of like, her eyes bug out, and she's like, and she kind of like has this gasp, like she's gonna faint, and then she leaves. Like for me, that wouldn't be
a deal breaker.
As funny if we saw his penis. I think it's funnier if we don't.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I guess I misunderstood what you were saying before. Like I thought you were saying like, "Oh, you need in this animation we actually need to see the tits. We need to see the pussy." That's what I thought you were saying. But in fact, your gripe was more like, I don't think this should be animated at all. and if it was just the way it was, but it wasn't animated, then
it just doesn't seem to have. It's not effective.
It's not better for being an animation.
Not in this animation.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
it doesn't benefit from being animated, the film. Yes.
You mean? What do you mean?
What I'm saying is this film, this animate, the fact that it's animated, the fact that it was done using motion capture, and it was styled in this sort of semi-real, like 75% realistic animation style.
Right.
This style does not benefit the film.
No, it doesn't. And like I said before, like if that same scene had been done with live action tits, live action woman, I probably wouldn't even say anything about it. I would probably be like, oh, that's cool. But this animation is so weird and not sexy. It's not funny.
I think it's funny.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be funny and like, look how kind of stiff and it's like Grand Theft Auto, medieval times.
No, that's not it. That's
look
not it.
to it, but it's not. It's trying to be sexy, funny, and it's neither.
I think that it succeeds in being funny. I find myself
not on purpose.
I think on purpose. I think that mostly on purpose. Like a lot of it. Like for example, the part that I tried to tell you before, like that part where John Malkovich is like, hell yeah, my fucking sword that I gave you. Like that part's only funny because it's animation. But okay. Anyways, regardless,
that's super subtle. That's like a very subtle moment.
It is super subtle. That's why it's funny. Like that's my point. That's my point. Is that it, like in a normal film, you wouldn't think twice about it because it's just something that was on camera and let's say that they shot, I don't know, 200 hours of footage and then they cut it together to do this fucking 2 hour long movie. Mm-hmm. But in an animation, that's not how it works. You don't shoot extra stuff. You don't animate extra stuff. Like everything is like finely tuned.
That's not necessarily the case either, because you can animate extra stuff and then you have to go into the editing room and the studio is like, you have a 2.5 hour movie here. You need to get it down to 2 hours. And you go in, you got to cut. I've had to. I mean, I haven't done anything to that extent, but I've had to. I've made cartoons that, it comes back from Korea and you have like 8 minutes of animation and you have to get it down to 6 minutes or something. You got to cut stuff out. So it is possible. It is have stuff that you got to cut out. That's actually like, made.
It is possible, but I mean, absolutely not to the degree of live action. You don't just roll.
Oh no, not to that degree. Definitely not. But it's not unheard of. Like, let's, just for the sake of argument, let's say that, that they made this movie and then they were like, we need to get it. It's PG-13. We need to get it down to a PG. It's got to be PG. That's what the studio says. That's what it wants. So you got to do it. So they'd probably have to go in there. They'd have to take out like excessive gore, and they'd have to take out the tits and anything that was like had sexual implications. They'd probably have to adjust the shots of Angie Jolie's tits. So
yeah,
you gotta. It's like you said, it's not as bad as live action, but it happens.
Right, but okay. I mean, you're arguing for like this is not impossible. Sometimes this happens. Maybe like 5% of the time that it happens in a live action movie. Yes, I do give you that. But when you're doing this kind of animation, which at the time was extremely expensive to produce because of the render time it takes to do this stuff with like accurate lighting and everything else. I mean, it's very expensive to do this kind of stuff, especially back then. To these days, it's actually much less expensive, but still. Anyways, the what it all boils down to, I still think my point is correct, that seeing something in animation like that, like seeing something be left in, it's like for example, what's coming to mind is that part in Fudo, the new generation, where they have like that shot where she shoots the dart out of her pussy and like the fucking the camera like the camera like is inside of her pussy, and then you remember the shot I'm talking about?
Sure.
Like that. When I see something like that, all I'm thinking about is like how much planning and how much setup was required to do that shot. And it's not something that just happens like off the cuff. Like that's something that like, someone had this idea and they had to plan it and they had to put it all together and then they had to shoot it. And it probably took like half a day to just do that one shot,
Or what about the shot in opera?
Oh, with the keyhole, the peephole in the door. Yeah. Stuff like that. What I'm trying to get at here is just like the amount of like planning and the amount of real intention and deliberateness. That's like every single moment in this film because it's animated. Like it requires a team of people to be like meticulously obsessing over like every single moment of this film. Like that's the difference between animation and between,
there's a lot less room for spontaneity in
right
animation.
And then when I see like something very like sort of subtle and off the cuff like that, like just these little moments, like sort of the expression of Robin Wright looking at Beowulf's cock, or John Malkovich kind of being like hell yeah bro with his butter knife, mm-hmm. or Anthony Hopkins kind of like looking around for Beowulf and not being able to find him, and then kind of having a surprised look when he finds, like these little moments are they feel how do you say it? They feel spontaneous. They feel improvised, but they're absolutely not. And that makes me laugh. That's so funny how they caught that and how people worked really hard on sort of making that happen. That maybe is the best way I can think of to explain kind of this thing that I'm trying to explain. But anyways, whatever. Fuck. Let's move on because I'm starting to get embarrassed. So then Beowulf decides, I'm going to take off my clothes and fight the monster naked because we don't have any weapon that can kill this monster. So we might as well just fight as equals and just let the fate take its course. Sure enough, he kills Beowulf. He figures out that Beowulf is susceptible to loud sound, and he starts to scream.
Beowulf kills Grendel.
Oh, that's what I meant to say. Beowulf kills Grendel. And
did you pause the screen at any moment for any of the shots to see if you could catch a glimpse of his penis?
I knew it wasn't even in there.
I saw it.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What did it look like?
It was a penis.
It was
pretty big, though.
Was it pretty cool?
It was beautiful. Beautiful.
He busts Grendel's ear. That wobbly fucking testicle that's on the side of his head, and Grendel shrinks to the size of a normal man. And then he rips off his arm he smashes it off in the door, and he terrifies Grendel. He sends him home, sniveling and crying, and then he dies with his mom, with Angelina Jolie, and she's none too pleased. And then later she goes.
There's there's cool violence every once in a while. Sometimes it depends. Like sometimes it seems silly, but then there's moments where it seems kind of effective.
Like what?
Well, that fight in particular between Beowulf and Grendel, and like biting the guy's head off and chewing his head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ripping people apart. There's some fun stuff.
Yeah, there's that part early on when Grendel first shows up where he pulls off someone's leg, like a gingerbread man. Right. But yeah, all the Grendel moments are pretty sweet. So then Grendel's mother silently in the night like kills everybody in the mead hall. They don't show that though. They open up the mead hall and everyone's hanging from the rafters. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh damn, Grendel's mother did it. And then Hrothgar's like, Beowulf, you're gonna have to kill Grendel's mother for me. And Beowulf rightly answers, what the hell am I have to kill his mother, his father, his fucking uncle, his fucking cousins? What the fuck? How many monsters do I have to kill this fucking guy, right? And so he goes to confront Grendel's mother, who is this beautiful, I guess the true form. They don't really show it. Sometimes they show it in a reflection, but you can see that it's sort of this like sea monster sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like a dragonish creature.
Yeah, like
but she's able to morph into whatever she wants. So most of the time, she wants to look like a hot Angelina Jolie.
Who wouldn't? And
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. Sarah Jessica Parker. Looks like Sarah Jessica Parker. You don't think that Angelina Jolie design is sexy? Or you're just looking at it, you're just like, I don't even care.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to go back. I want to pause the movie during the Beowulf fight and see if I can catch a glimpse of his dick.
Yeah, you're like, you see Angelina Jolie and you're just like, well, let me rewind. I need to see more of Beowulf's fat hog.
I don't know. There's something about like, I don't know. The animations. It's not sexy.
You're like, why doesn't this look like olive oil?
Yeah, she's like covered with cheese whiz.
Covered with cheese whiz.
She just looks like there's just like a stiffness to her movements. It just looks like kind of cheap CGI kind of animation. They slapped her face on a fake fucking body. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, I'm voting for not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's not. It's yeah. It's just whatever.
I think this is your advanced age that's coming through.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe if I was 10, I would love it.
Well, I mean, I just think that, you know what it is? I think that like, I guess I'm just more accepting of this kind of 3D animation than you are.
Maybe.
Like, I just think that it's like, I watched the movie and I'm kind of like, there's a little bit of a mental troubleshooting that I have to kind of go through. But then after a while, I just forget that it's animated. Whereas you, it's a thorn in your side the entire time and it's pricking you.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I saw it when it came out, and I feel like my experience watching it now was almost exactly the same. I probably liked it better the first time I saw it because it was in 3D in a theater. Mm-hmm. So in that case, it was probably a little bit more fun.
You know what's funny? Do you remember the fattest teen in the, like, there's that BBC special before My 600-Pound Life, and it was this kid named Billy Robbins. Uh-huh. And do you remember that? I think we might have talked about this kid before, where he's like,
I don't know. I mean, maybe
the kid weighs like, probably like close to 600 pounds. and he's 19 years old, and he, his mother, it's just entirely his mother. His mother, I guess, lost a child when he was like, he had like a aneurysm when the kid was like 8 months old or something, and so her baby died. So she goes and she has Billy Robbins afterwards, and she's like, I'm never ever gonna let this kid suffer ever. So she just like gives him whatever he wants, and sure enough, he turns into a 600-pound fucking 19-year-old, and they have to take him out of school because his other kids are just bullying him so much. And it really shows the evil of a mother's love, the toxic poisonousness of the love of a mother. But anyways, the reason why I bring it up is because there's a part where she's going to like the video store to rent DVDs for him, and she rents Beowulf for him to watch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's his.
That comes full circle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I brought it up, because it's like she's in the Blockbuster.
This is the fucking fattest kid in the world's favorite movie.
Yeah, and she holds it up. She's like, he's been meaning to see this one, and it's like Beowulf, and it's like, fuck, I knew it. You know that. Well, I'm not sure if he can get hard, but that he fucking liked those Angelina Jolie scenes. They worked on him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you could fucking find his dick, he probably was pulling on it.
Yeah, he was probably giving it a little tug. Beowulf goes to see Angelina Jolie in the cave. She seduces him. He comes back to see Anthony Hopkins, and he with Grendel's head, and he's like, I got Grendel's head, so I'm sure he's dead. And then he's like, well, what about the mother? Did you kill the mother? And he's like, I totally killed that hag, And he's like, Beowulf, we know she's not a hag. Tell me the truth. Did you kill her or not? Yeah, she's hot as fuck. So then Beowulf lies and says, yeah, I killed her. And then Anthony Hopkins is like, well, as long as you've killed Grendel, that means that like I'm kind of free of this curse. But if you fucked her, then that means that you're cursed. All of a sudden you got some kind of weird monster that's gonna, grow up one day and fuck with you. And then he goes and kills himself. He goes and jumps off the balcony and kills himself on the rocks. And then it's very quick, but I think that Grendel's mother actually comes in and picks up his body when the waves come in. Did you notice that?
It was hard to tell what happened, but there seemed to be some kind of like magical thing pulling him out to sea.
Well, it's that orange color. It's sort of this orange kind of blur that comes in with the waves, and then the waves overtake him, and then he's gone. And it's like, oh, I bet that was Grendel's mother. I think that's what they're trying to say with that. Then a bunch of years pass. Beowulf's now old, and sure enough, what comes to terrorize the kingdom but a dragon,
Junior.
Beowulf Jr. And this is where the movie starts to become less fun for me, because I don't like how the dragon is a dragon, even though in the original poem or whatever, it is a dragon. Like they're being accurate to the fucking lore. But I really liked how Grendel was like a mutant, and it looked like an abomination. The dragon just looks like a dragon. It looks like it's supposed to be a dragon.
I feel like once Grendel is out of the picture, the dragon and Angelina Jolie don't really capture my interest as much as Grendel does.
Absolutely.
They're not as interesting as him.
Right.
So, perfect woman with huge tits and just a typical dragon.
Yeah, like a stock dragon
from Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
It's boring, man.
It is boring. I don't like it either. But and also another thing too that really upsets me is when Beowulf eventually kills the dragon at the end. There's sort of an illusion, or a what do you call that? A foreshadowing is what I'm trying to say. Where Anthony Hopkins is showing him his meat horn, and he's like, there's a little thing underneath the neck, and if you cut that with a knife, you can access the dragon's heart. So he does that, and Beowulf has to like cut off one of his own arms to get deep enough into the, there's this whole big fucking thing where he's being dragged around and the dragon's got a chain stuck to his mouth or something, and then Beowulf's stuck on that chain and all this stuff, and he cuts off his own arm, and then he's going to reach his hand into that hole and grab the heart. Why is the fucking heart of the dragon the size of a human's heart? The thing's enormous. It needs a big heart.
He is a human, because like when he dies, he transforms back into a hairless man.
In the same way that his body grows and becomes bigger, his heart needs to grow as well, because it needs to pump the blood required to create the thrust.
The Grinch's heart was also extremely small, remember?
No,
and only when the spirit of Christmas enters his heart does it become big.
Yeah, well, as what you're describing to me is an admission that a heart can grow in
But
size.
because he's evil, he's got a tiny Grinch heart. That's what I'm saying.
No, ridiculous. You need that heart should be the size of a fucking, at least the size of a microwave.
You're missing the Grinch science.
No, it's
Dr. Seuss.
It just fucking bugs me to no end how this is, because again, this is not like, this is something that it's animation. Just fucking grab the scale slider and scale up the heart, make it bigger, make it big like it's supposed to be. And then instead of Beowulf grabbing the heart and pulling it out, he could just, there's a number of things he could do. He could tear it in half or something, or do something else. But it's just,
and also why is Beowulf's son so good looking? Like he looks like a shaved hunk.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is that like you've already set the precedent of Grendel, of this sort of, this mutant, an unnatural union between like demigod and demigod and Beowulf. And then you have this thing that looks, it looks like it's from nature. Like it doesn't look like an abomination. It looks, for lack of a better word, like well designed. Like,
yeah, it looks like a magical man, like one of the guys from Prometheus.
Yeah,
Alien Prometheus or something.
The Silver Surfer, the Golden Surfer.
It's a Golden Shower Surfer.
The Golden Shower Cheesewood Surfer. So that's a shame. So the movie kind of ends on that note. But in terms of like, what do you call it? Like the thematic elements of this film, like what the film's about. It's like about like, just sort of like this woman who kind of uses up, or rather feminine force. Like Angelina Jolie's like this goddess, this demi-goddess or whatever, and she just kind of like uses up men and watches them get old and kind of like less masculine, weaker and less virile and stuff, while she remains young and beautiful and everything else. And
six their bastard children on them.
Exactly. And it's cool. I mean, I think it's a pretty cool story. I think it's also moreover, like, more than just being like a cool story. I think it's a really cool sort of interpretation of like the original story, because I don't think that those kinds of themes are present in the original story. It's so old. It's probably just like, and then Beowulf fucking went over here and he killed that guy, and then he went home and then he killed another guy, and then he died. Like, it's very surface level, but to kind of keep everything intact, but then like add these themes and make it actually like about something and have like a point. I think that's very cool. It reminds me of like of when Alan Moore kind of invigorated Swamp Thing, but he didn't change. He didn't have to retcon or change everything. He kept everything the same, but he was just like, actually, this is how it works. And then he like revolutionized everything. have a lot of envy and admiration for people who can kind of do that, can kind of like take something that exists, take a story that exists, and kind of spin it in a certain way where all the concrete facts remain the same, but like you're telling the story in such a way where there's actually like a real clear message or moral or something like that in it. So yeah,
it's like a new spin on an old classic.
Right.
I also like how Robin Wright penned the fucking worst wife in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like like Anthony Hopkins is like, come on, let's fuck. There's even like a board, like between them they have a bed with like a board between, so like they don't have to touch each other when they're sleeping in the same bed. And at some point he pulls it off the bed and he's like, come on, let's fuck. And she's like, I ain't fucking you. You fuck that sea hag.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame her. This guy.
What the fuck did you marry him for? And then, but then she that way, you know, he dies, and then she marries Beowulf, and she's marrying like this. She's like marrying into the same exact situation.
Well, I mean,
and she still like maintains her like, well, I'm not gonna fuck you.
I think you're giving. I think you're giving that woman a little too much agency. You know, I think that she doesn't really have much say in who she's marrying.
I don't know why these people are chomping at the bit to marry her. She's a fucking drip.
Well,
she always like, she looks miserable from the moment the movie starts to the moment it ends. There's not a single moment where she seems like pleased or happy or sexy. She's just is a drag.
She's a real sad sack. But she
no wonder these guys are fucking, you know, the sea hag.
Yeah.
Fucking that's their choice. I could either fuck this hot sea hag or I can fuck this fucking bitch.
There you go. That's another. That's the
moral of the story.
That's part of it, because it's like,
I bet you that ain't in the fucking poem.
That's not in the fucking poem. Like like these guys, these fucking heroic men. They can't be held down to one pussy. Exactly. They gotta go out and and you know what? They can't even be satisfied by like human pussy. They have to go out and fuck these like weird monster pussies. That's the only thing that can keep them, you know, feeling like there's a point to live in this life. And the thought of like marriage, being married, having a queen, get the hell out of here. It's the same thing with it's like Tony Soprano. You know, he has his Carmela, and then he's got his Gumars, and in this case,
right, the
Gumars are bizarre fucking monsters. And another thing too, that's sort of a theme in the film, is this. It's sort of characterized to some degree by John Malkovich. It's this sort of idea of like, you know, this, in the same way that the Odyssey is sort of about like the end of this era. It's supposed to be kind of like about this ending of an era of like, you know, wild kind of lustful Viking-like men, and then the advent of sort of this weaker and lamer outlook on life that's characterized by like some weak skin, like, you know, my God, they're a bunch of big muscular fucking Ronnie Colemans up in Valhalla, like swinging swords and throwing lightning bolts and stuff. Those are my gods. But these new gods are coming in, and they're characterized by like just some skinny ass crying asshole nailed up onto a cross. That's who they worship, and those guys are taking over, and slowly, like, sort of this cool like heavy metal religion is sort of dying out, and instead it's this sort of self-loathing religion about sacrifice and stuff that's like kind of coming in and it finding a place in the hearts of everybody, and that's part of it. That's part of what this film, I think, is saying as well. Like, getting married, getting married, fucking makes your dick soft in the same way that that Jesus makes your dick soft as well.
Okay.
I think that's all. I think that's what this movie's about.
I think Jesus is mentioned in this movie like fucking 2 times.
Nah, what I'm saying is in the movie. I can't.
It's subtext.
Say what?
It's in the subtext.
No, it's there. It's the those lines, that sort of line about they worship this crying martyr on a cross, like this
Right.
weak this sort of weak, sorrowful religion that's like not based in sort of being like that's not based in victory and triumph. It's based in feeling sad about a guy who died, like that. The whole thing, and the symbol is this fucking cross that the guy got nailed to. Like that's all. It just all feels so self-loathing, and negative and weak. They say all that shit. Like it's
no. I mean, they have those moments where they say it, but I'm just trying to see how it applies to the story as far as. Like it doesn't, like, I don't feel like I'm watching some sort of like anti-Christian message. That's not really coming through.
I think it is. I think it's like look at the way like these guys look at these guys' values. Look at what they held as important. And, I mean, there's also sort of a connection between sort of like a man's youth and his old age. You're it like when you're more of like a geet, like a southern Swede when you're young, and then you grow up and you end up becoming more like a Roman Catholic. Like when you're young, you're going around, you're fucking monsters and you're killing dudes and drinking a lot. And then when you get older, you end up having to lay in bed with a board in the middle with fucking Robin Wright, and she doesn't want to have sex with you.
Right.
That's the same thing. That's what's happening to the nation. That's what's happening to Northern Europe is with Christianity.
Well, I mean, if there was actually like like some active comparing and contrasting going on in the movie, where it's sort of like, here's the Christian guy, here's the old world Viking guy, and like here's how they handle things. There's no representation of Christianity in this movie that
yes, there is. It's Unferth. It's John Malkovich.
But he's so it just doesn't feel like it's not a strong representation. Like he's just kind of an advisor. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just bad. He's just kind of there.
He's bad.
He's not bad. Like he's not bad in the way that Grendel is bad. He's not bad or the way that the Angelina Jolie mom is bad. He's just kind of a bitch.
Yeah, he's kind of a bitch. He's the long-term evil. He's like he's the poison.
Kind of a bitch. He's a bitch at the beginning. He kind of comes around, and like after that, he's kind of not really played one way or the other. He's not a strong character in that way. It's sort of like this is a representation of this is Christianity as a weak religion of sniveling bitches, and that's not. I don't think that's, if that's what they're trying to say, it's not fully realized.
I will give you, like, I mean, I will admit that it is not the main message, but I do think that it is clearly present as less of like the main message and more of just like the context of the more
Like if it was
obvious
something,
message.
if there was something more to like, okay, we're dealing with this problem of this evil monster. What are we going to do? Are we going to use the Viking way to solve the problem, or are we going to do like there's this new Christian way of solving problems, which is like let's go to the monster and tell her how much we love her and that she needs to turn to Jesus Christ. If that was going on, like if that was in the story, then I would be like, yeah, okay, I could see that, but it's kind of not. Like it's like Christianity is like barely a whimper in this story.
I think it just, you're right. I'd say it's more than a whimper. I'd say it's like, it's just, it provides context to sort of what's going on in the world.
I think it's more about like where like this is, like you said, this is the end of an era.
Yeah.
But it's like the old way is going away because
Yes.
Christianity is coming in.
Yes.
But I'm not getting the sense of like, Christianity is like, this is how we're defining Christianity. It's for weakling bitches, snivellers. That's not coming across here.
I think it is. I think it dovetails very neatly.
So you're fully saying Beowulf is anti-Christian.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that it's talking about an end of it. It very clearly is talking
because it's directed by a Jewish guy. That's what you're saying.
Yes. it's against the.
All right.
It's against the
God.
It's against good, and it's an evil film. It's trying to confuse the minds of the Gentile.
All right. Well, it's a deep reading.
Right. Well, I mean, it's about like being a man and losing the hardness in your dick is what it's about.
So I think it's like, be careful who you fuck.
Yeah. Or, yeah, be careful who you fuck, because what's at stake is how hard your dick has the potential to get.
The child support.
Right. That's true.
Is going to come home to roost.
That's there you go, bud. There you go. All that stuff is present in this fine animated film by acclaimed Jewish director Robert Zemeckis. So let's wrap it up. I think that we're at like 32 or 1 hour and 32 minutes talking about goddamn Beowulf.
Yes.
All right, let's hear what your rating is for this one.
I'm gonna say 2 eggplants.
How dare you? This for me. I mean, if that fucking dragon was designed better and its heart wasn't so small, I would give this a 4. But this is a mere 3.5 for me. Middle of the road.
This is like, yeah. If you went through your whole life and never saw this, you'd be doing just fine.
I don't think so. I think that the right kind of person could get a lot out of this movie.
I'm only giving it like the only reason I really the only reason I'm giving it 2
because of Grendel.
Because of Grendel, the Grendel design is really great, but it's just like PG-13 Shrek. It just feels like Shrek.
That's a very old guy viewpoint.
Okay, well, I'm an old guy. I have to come to terms with that.
And by the way,
if you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to an old guy and a very young guy, and we're two generations. The young generation and the new generation. I mean, the old generation, new generation.
Well, old and older, old and ancient. Let's say. I do think though that like this I don't know, like I can't find anything that's like, what else is kind of like this that sort of, I mean, it's a lot like, okay, Conan the Barbarian, we can both agree that that's a great film, right?
Sure.
Okay, like that movie has similar themes they're not quite as heavy-handed. Like they're not quite as on the nose as they are here in Beowulf. But there's like, for example, there's a part in Conan that I love where Conan is he like infiltrates like the Thulsa Doom cult, and there's a piece of narration given by that Chinese guy or Japanese guy or whatever he is, and he goes the cult of Thulsa Doom, they said, cast away your possessions and return to the earth. Ha! There will be enough time for the earth when I am in the grave, and it's sort of this idea of like, my read of that was always like rockers versus hippies, like Conan's a rocker and he wants to fucking party and have cool stuff, cool car, hot babes, and then the hippies, they're like they want to fucking do yoga and stuff and be vegetarians and they don't want to they're okay. It's less like hippies and it's less like hippies and rockers, and it's maybe more just like capitalists and communists if you want to be a faggot about it. But I like to think of it as rockers.
Well, it's John Milius, so it's liberals versus conservatives,
and Oliver Stone too, to boot. But I think that idea of like sort of hard dick, muscly, like I do what I want, versus the more like civilized, sniveling commies, that's similar, or at least in the same ballpark of like what's going on in Beowulf.
See, I don't see that, because you're not getting the contrast in Conan. You have the Thulsa Doom cult, and then you have Conan and his group. You're not getting those two worlds here. All you're getting is Beowulf and his men, and then you have the Grendel and his mom.
Yeah, because Conan the Barbarian exists like in a time where Conan remains strong, remains like
See, I feel like what you're saying
strong and potent.
What you're saying about like the new and the old world, and Christianity versus early paganism, I feel like that applies more to Conan than it does to Beowulf. I don't see that in Beowulf at all.
It's right there. It's right there. I think you're trying not to see it.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. Like my friend Beetlejuice says, I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Right. In Beowulf, it's because it takes place over a longer period of time. Beowulf like is Conan for like a while, like in the beginning, and then later he kind of is like not Conan. He loses all his Conan juice, and and it's time that takes it from him, and so it is different, but still sort of just what hangs in the balance is like masculine strength. That's the valued commodity here.
Right, but it's not. Conan is confronting this sort of liberal hippie world of weakness. You sort of like united weakness, and Beowulf isn't. Beowulf is just fighting this whore.
Yeah, but I mean, Thulsa Doom and his dudes. Thulsa Doom and his two muscle dudes. With Spinal Tap haircuts,
bangs.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know how to really resolve them in terms of where they fit into like the hippie cult, because they seem like on the same level as Conan in terms of how virile and strong they are.
Right, but they're sort of just the enforcers of whatever Thulsa Doom is throwing down.
Thulsa Doom. His whole thing is like, I don't have to worry about like strong dudes and swords and muscle, because I can actually control people's minds with
That's like
you
a
know,
great scene
with
when
my
he's
cult.
when he's sort of like, come down, come here.
Yeah,
And
she kills herself.
Girl's like, here I come.
Yeah, but then
and he's
that
like, that's strength. That's the new strength. Like
right.
That's what we're talking about.
But
there it is, right there.
But
it's not in this movie.
But sure enough, what happens later in Conan is like, oh, okay, well, you know, we do have to bring out these muscle guys anyways. Like, you know what I mean? Like
well, that's kind of how Christianity went too.
Oh, look at you! You're bringing out every excuse in the book to I mean,
excuse that like whatever you're talking about. Like it's not happening in Beowulf.
It is. It absolutely is. You're trying not to see it.
I'm not trying anything. Sound off in the comments. Pick a side.
Pick a side.
Rob or team me.
Team that guy. All right. So we got a 2 eggplant rating from Johnny Ryan and a 3.5 rating from Rob Jabaz for the film Beowulf from 2007 by Jewish director Robert Zemeckis.
Jewish American.
By Zionist director Robert Zemeckis. So that'll be the end of the show. Thank you very much. And of course, send off in the comments. Hey, do you have a suggestion for a movie that we should watch? You know, we'd love to hear it.
That it's for like a movie that old guys would like. None of this new shit.
Yeah. You want something that like stars what's his name? Michael Douglas's dad. What's his name again? What's his name again?
Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas. We want some Kirk Douglas movies. That might be the.
I mean, Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin.
We like Charlie Chaplin and
something with we want something with a dance number. All right, something that has like
some Busby Berkeley thing.
Something that has like a second act dance number that lasts for like at least 18 minutes. That's the kind of thing that we're looking for. Kind of
Rudolph Valentino, Clara Bow thing.
Yes, that's what we want. So sound off in the comments. All right. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.